Hello human beings, I am crazylegsjan and welcome back to VR in a wheelchair. Today we are reviewing a game called Pipe Dream. Pipe Dream is a game on the MetaQuest 2 and it's currently in App Lab, so early access if I understand it correctly. Pipe Dream is a new take on the 90s games where you had water intake in one side and then you had to lead the water to the water outlet or drain, if you will, with the limited pipes that you had given. I will point out a few things that doesn't work and rest assured all of the things I have told the devs about. When you start the game shows you with a board how to move the world. It shows you that you do that with the grip buttons, but it's actually the bottom button on the controllers. It's not left or right controller specific, so either one would do. I gave feedback to the developers about this. The menu system is placed on a little clipboard that floats in front of you and moves with your view. For me it's a little bit low, so I have a hard time seeing the start button. So I gave the devs the idea to make it grabbable instead of floating, so you personally can place it wherever you want and then move away when you're starting a map. The first 6 levels is what I would call tutorial levels, as they teach you what to do in the future levels. The first 6 levels doesn't have a time limit on them, in the way that the cube that everything is inside is not getting filled up with water. That starts in level 2. To complete a level, you place pipes from the inlet to the outlet, and there is no right or wrong way to do it in general. Some levels require that you guide the water through some grey already placed pipes, but other than that you have free hands in which way you want to complete the level. You sadly can't take one pipe with one hand and then take it with the other hand at the same time to help with rotating the pipe in the right direction. I have reached out to the developers about this because it's a normal interaction we do on a daily basis, so it would be a normal thing people try in any VR game. The pipe uses a snap system of sorts, where when you put a pipe into one of the smaller squares in the big world grid, it will snap to the square as soon as you let it go. The snap system also works in the way that it tries to predict what direction the ends should point according to where the pipe ends are pointing. So you don't have to be 100% precise to place a pipe. But this also introduces a problem, because sometimes the prediction guesses wrong and flips the pipes 180. Despite the issues I encountered, I had a lot of fun in the game. It really reminded me of those 90s games, but with a twist. As soon as you reach level 2, you are on a time trial, so the panic is real in that. I had to redo some of the levels a couple of times before I figured out the right way to do it, or any way for that matter. When you take a pipe and you accidentally drop it, then the game will throw the dropped pipe into the world grid, wherever there is room. This did make a problem for me, as a pipe was hidden behind a solid block, so I couldn't see it, but it's not a game breaker in any way. More heads up to be aware of. I encountered a problem that when I moved a pipe and I wanted to move it again, but it didn't move my hand out of the little square that it snapped into, then it didn't allow me to move the pipe again until I moved my hand out of the square to move it in again. I would have loved to have a rotating function in the game, so some of the solid blocks wasn't in the way, which I also told the developers. You can move the world in and out, but you cannot rotate it. I feel like you should be able to rotate it. The game is playable as a wheelchair user, if you can move your arms and wrist freely. I can see people having some problems in the later levels, if you can't at least. As soon as you have a time limit on, it becomes a problem if you are not fast enough. The game is on the MetaQuest 2 App Lab store currently on a 50% discount, so it costs $4.99. Normally $9.99. And if you're into these kind of games, then it's worth the price, definitely. If you feel like I'm missing something or could have done something differently, then leave a comment and remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to check out this video here where I'm reviewing fantastic contraptions.